The next wave of business leaders won't just use AI, they'll master momentum with it, starting now. Welcome to the Mastering AI Momentum Show, where visionary founders and driven business leaders turn artificial intelligence, automation, and scalable systems into real growth, real scale, and real freedom. If you're ready to break bottlenecks, reclaim your title, and scale smarter, this is your playbook. Let's dive in. Here are your hosts, Allie Porter and Elise Smith.
Welcome to the Mastering AI Momentum Show, where we help 7- and 8-figure founders and business owners identify bottlenecks in their business and explore how AI can help to accelerate their results. I'm Elise Smith, your AI business strategist with Millionaire Momentum AI Agency, and we help growth-focused founders who are struggling with inefficient systems, scattered processes, and stalled revenue so that they can finally scale smarter, serve deeper, and grow faster with our incredible custom AI agents that we build. So if you want to learn more, make sure you check out m2aiagency.com. And today, I'm excited to be joined by Jennifer Mancusi, who is the co-founder of GrowGetter, a marketing service agency that not only runs powerful demand generation and ABM campaigns, but also educates non-marketers to connect strategy directly with revenue growth. Like, you're speaking my language, girl. I love it. She brings 15 years of B2B and SaaS sales and marketing experience and expertise, and has built a team delivering measurable results for clients ranging from high growth companies to Fortune 100 firms. So welcome, Jennifer. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Elise.
Of course, of course. So for those who don't know you and your company yet, can you kind of give us a snapshot of your background and how you got started with GrowGetter?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been a marketer my entire career, and over the last 15 years or so, really specifically focused on B2B marketing for market research agencies, consumer insights, customer experience firms. So about 2.5 years ago, my partner and I launched GrowGetter as a marketing agency to help serve other similar types of companies that we'd been working for internally for many, many years. So now we're kind of, as you mentioned, building fractional teams for either startup businesses or companies that have been around a long time, and helping to really execute on marketing that performs and connect the dots between marketing strategy and revenue growth.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome. And I haven't known you very long, but I can tell you just have a passion for what you do, and also just a real good heart to be able to help people. So if someone is like talking to their best friend because they're frustrated about their marketing, what are they saying that you could help them with?
Oh, I mean, so it's funny the way you describe that question. It's so common that's actual conversations we're having, is like people are frustrated with their marketing, that it's not working, or more likely they're frustrated with a sales or business development tactic and looking for a solution, which is often a marketing solution. I actually do a series on my TikTok that is marketing therapy, because that is sort of what it feels like to have those conversations. And often my conversations with clients or prospective clients is exactly that. It's marketing therapy. It's questions like, how come my email's not working anymore? Or, I've been doing, cold outreach with my business development team and they're not booking meetings anymore. Conferences don't work. We go and we have all these great conversations and no revenue comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
Our marketing team is too focused on brand and we're looking for revenue. There's so many challenges that are coming from, I think, a fundamental misunderstanding of marketing. I think that marketing is one of those things that everybody thinks they know it, because we're all marketed to. 10,000 marketing messages a day we're getting, right? So we all think we know how to do marketing. People think that creativity equals marketing, which it's not true. There's such like a science that is required for it to be effective. And so I think that becomes a big challenge for people is, and it often just turns into a general sort of blanket marketing doesn't work. And so that's what we kind of aim to help people within those conversations is like, how do you make it work? How do you test what you're executing on, invest in what's working, and abandon what's not?
Yeah, absolutely. So if someone's like just generally looking at their marketing strategy and they're saying marketing doesn't work, like what's one tip we can like give the audience as like a freebie to be able to help them get a little bit unstuck?
Yeah. So good question. Typically the first question I ask is, what does working look like for you? So I think often we say something's not working, but we haven't actually defined what success looks like for that thing. So a great example is I think oftentimes ad campaigns are turned off because they aren't getting conversion, when actually conversion should not be the success metric for the type of advertising they're doing, for example, right? I see a lot of top of funnel ads getting turned off because they're not getting a bottom of funnel success metric. So that's typically what I will say to people right off the bat is define what working looks like before you say it's not working. And then figure out if that tactic is the right tactic to achieve that goal. So most of the time, I think when people are saying marketing's not working, it's because they're mismatching their objective with the tactic.
That is so golden, especially because if you don't know where you're going, how can you get there, right? Like, what is the objective and what is the goal? Because there's so many different marketing strategies. I mean, I taught marketing for 15 years and it's just, it can feel really overwhelming. And you see this person over here have this incredible success with the same thing that you were trying to do for a year and didn't get off the ground, So that can be really frustrating. So I love the fact that you guys really come alongside your clients and help them figure out their objective and then figure out what marketing strategies are best for them with their current situation. So what I've seen of GrowGetter is just absolutely amazing. And I have to ask, where did the name come from?
Oh my gosh. We actually did work with an external agency. We had probably 1,000 names. That's not an exaggeration. And GrowGetter came up somewhere in the middle of that 1,000. It wasn't the favorite right off the bat. It wasn't like aha, that's the name, but we kept going back to it. And I used to joke it was growing on me. And I actually feel like it was the right choice for sure, because that's what we're after. We're helping our clients achieve growth through marketing. And I think that makes it really clear what people are getting into when they come to work with us.
Yeah. And it's fun. I think it matches you and your business partners' personalities too. Yeah. It's like something different,
Totally.
That's so awesome. So I know you have a business partner. How many other people are on your team? Like, what does your team look like?
Yeah, there's about 10 of us right now. So as I mentioned, we launched about 2.5 years ago. So we're growing. We have the content team, an account and campaign team, and a graphic designer on staff. And we are hiring content strategists at the moment. We have a couple of openings. So that job posting is live on our website if you're interested and you are a performance-focused content marketer. There's a shameless plug for our open roles. You can come and work with our team.
I love it. Who are you looking for since we're going there anyway?
Yeah, good question. So our content team is, we're very specifically, it's a content strategy role. It is not just about writing content. And maybe this is a segue into some of the conversations we're going to have about AI, but AI plays a big role in what we do. AI doesn't write content for us, but it is it's an editor and an idea generator for our teams. And so we really need people that are thinking about content strategy, how we can build a content plan that will perform. Our content strategists are responsible for blog writing, case studies, download pieces, social media, and email strategy. So content has really expanded over the years. We're also looking for people that are really data focused and performance focused and curious to learn. marketing is constantly changing, and content especially is in this like massive revolution right now with, we used to 2 years ago, we were looking for SEO experts, and we're not anymore, right? It's such a key part of what we do, but it's not everything. And so we don't expect you to know everything about AI search optimization, but we're learning about it, and we want people that are excited to learn alongside us. So curiosity, experimentation are, the qualities that are even more important than the experience, I would say. So, we're big believers that people that are smart enough and curious enough can learn how to do anything. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's a shameless plug away. Like, I think that's great. If anyone's listening to this, make sure you go to her website and check it out. But so as you scaled from just you and your business partner, it sounds like you started there, and then all the way up to the 10 people that you have now, what were your biggest roadblocks that you ran into?
Yeah, I think, when you're such a small business, there is a lot of kind of foundational kind of things, operational needs that need to be kind of built. So onboarding and just kind of SOPs in terms of how we do business, how we deliver for clients. And as you scale and hire and train people, it can be challenging to maintain consistency in how you deliver for clients and make sure that you're doing a lot of knowledge transfer. I think after we had maybe like 4 or 5 people, it became very clear that so much of what we were doing was living in our heads. Because as a newer business, we had to document and do that knowledge transfer. So that has been probably our biggest challenge, is like, that combination of growing quickly and needing to hire quickly, and also maintaining the kind of the quality of the work that we're doing, right? Not everybody's going to do things exactly as I do it. So how can I do a good job of training and also learning from the people that are bringing different experience into the business in a way that we can then document and make it repeatable and scalable.
I love that. Yeah, because it is about the people, right? But giving them the tools and the SOPs, like you're setting them up for success. So I know that you guys like AI, and I love that you have kind of that boundary of it doesn't create content for you. How does it help you and your team grow even bigger and help you guys be more efficient and effective?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, we have used some AI tools just for what I was talking about, right? Like documenting those SOPs, helping us identify gaps in our processes, and helping to build out a project management system that we can create like more repeatable frameworks. We do talk about often like allowing for freedom within a framework. So, but what that means is you have to have the framework outlined first and then give people the tools they need to decide when they need to flex. So that's been one area that's really helped us as a business be more efficient. And then in terms of our delivery for clients, we're kind of always looking for how can AI, take time-consuming tasks and make them more efficient so that we can spend time doing the strategic work and the data work that we need to do to ensure that we're making an impact. So like one example might be we use AI tools for our video editing. And taking a video that is 40 minutes long or 30 minutes long and cutting it into 30, 60-second sound bites. And we use AI tools to do that, which saves a lot of time and also gives capabilities to people that are not video editing experts to be able to do that for our own brand and for our clients. And so that's been a huge time saver and creates a lot of efficiency. It does require human participation, right? We don't ever deliver anything that AI has just spit out for us, or I should say very rarely does it do it in a way that we're like, yes, done, ready. It requires some finesse, but knowing what needs to be what needs to be worked on and tweaked and optimized versus what we can leverage for efficiency has been just amazing. Like really allows us to offer new capabilities and also maintain the efficiency within the team.
Yeah, so golden. So what system do you use for video editing? Just so we can let the whole audience know.
Yes, we use Opus Clips. We're big fans of Opus Clips. We are always experimenting with new tools as well. So we've played with captions and some other tools. We're currently trying out digital twins for video. I haven't yet gotten that to work, but we're hopeful that it's close. I will say the ones that we've done, they get the voice right and they get most of the facial expressions right, but it does not get the mouth right.
So it just looks like all weird.
The mouths just don't fully close. So anyways, we're working on that. But yes, we're big fans of Opus Clips for at least that first round of editing with video clips. Yeah.
Love that. I know. And it's so fun what you can do with AI. Like, yes, we're not quite there on some of the things that are being pushed out into the industry right now, but you could build out an entire faceless marketing campaign if you wanted to. I mean, it's just the sky is the limit on different things that you can do. So I have to ask about this project management system, because I know when you and I talked about it, I was like, I want details. I want to understand it, but let's wait till the show. So tell us a little bit more about that. Like, did you create it from scratch? Are you using a system? What is that doing for you? All the things.
Good question. So we went through all of the tools. So if anybody on the side wants to hear which tools we tested and what we liked and didn't like, ultimately we landed on Asana, and we're big fans of it. It really helped us to kind of achieve some very specific goals that we had in terms of managing our own internal to-dos for our team and also sharing visibility on project management with our clients. So it's a great tool, but it does require some time and energy to set it up in a way that's going to work for you. We have had experiences in the past where we set it up wrong, not Asana, a different tool, and then you've invested a lot of time into something that isn't working for you. But one of the things that we really loved about Asana was the creation of templates. So that we could have those repeatable frameworks and processes built into our project management system. So there's no question that when our content team is writing a blog or our accounts team is running a new LinkedIn ad campaign, all of the steps that are required, all of the different collaboration within the team that needs to happen with our designer or our writer or something like that, everything is outlined in a repeatable way. And creating those templates is where we really leveraged AI to make sure we weren't missing any steps or hadn't considered something that maybe we should incorporate into our processes. So I guess one very sort of specific example would be like our onboarding. When we onboard a new client, there are certain steps that we take in the first, let's say, week or so. We have an onboarding questionnaire that we send around. We have an attribution audit that we run. And between some of the early team members and myself, all of that knowledge and process was living within our own minds. So we first took all of our kind of onboarding documentation that we had started to create and asked AI to evaluate it for us. Hey, here's what we're doing. Here's the scope of work with this client, the type of work that we do. Be really, really specific in your prompts. And then we imported the content we had already created for, hey, give me your take on this. Is it missing anything? Does it make sense? What other information might we want to gather? And I will say, just as a little side note at that moment, I almost always am including documents or content or whatever that we've already created in a prompt for AI.
Oh, smart.
I don't think that AI can create it for you if you haven't put some thought into creating starting point, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to make you kind of unique in whether it's business or content or whatever that might be. And then use the output to say, oh yeah, we did kind of miss a section here. Maybe we can add that in. And then using those different chunks, right? The onboarding questionnaire, the attribution audit, the overall marketing audit, and putting all of that documentation that we've created into a project template in Asana that, then here are our steps, right? Anything we're missing there. So that combination, that back and forth between our processes that we were already doing, our human knowledge, our experience, 15, 20, 25 years of experience for the people that we, that work in our business. And that combination allows us to create an SOP that can be, circulated amongst the team and done in a really repeatable fashion every time.
Yes. Ah, you are speaking my language. I love project management, but it is so cool to use AI to be able to think of things you couldn't before. I mean, I'm not a very like crafty, creative person when it comes to, art or anything like that, but I'm very logical and project management-y and all of that. And when I use AI, I feel like I'm a creator. Like it just makes me feel so much more empowered to be able to think of things that you couldn't think of before. And so you can do that with really any part of your business, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so interesting that how you describe yourself in that way, because I'm sort of the opposite. I feel like I'm a little bit more creative and, I'm not very good with project management. I get overwhelmed by some of the like documentation and that kind of stuff. And so it can be a tool to fill that gap for you, regardless of how you're kind of coming at it. And I think that, when I think about, I'm going to rant for a second, if you don't mind.
Go for it. We love it.
I was on a call recently with a bunch of marketers, and the conversation came up about AI, and there was someone on the call who was very anti-AI. And this is a creator, a writer, and someone who said, I've never missed a deadline. I've never experienced writer's block, and I don't need AI. And it's impacting our children, and it's impacting our ability to do the work, and blah, blah, blah. And they sort of described it, made the analogy about like, people don't know how to read a watch, right? Young people don't know how to read a clock because you've got digital. Yeah. And my sort of impression of that is you don't need to. Maybe the time it takes and the energy it takes to learn that thing takes time away from doing something else. I don't know what that something else is. And so, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, all the time I spent, sort of forcing a square peg into a round hole with project management, which is not my strong suit. Now I can leverage an AI tool to help me take that creativity, or help me take that and document it in a way that's a framework and repeatable. Now I have more time to do something I couldn't even imagine doing. And so that's what I think about when I think about how I want to leverage AI. I do think that you have to start with what you do have. And like, don't be lazy. Don't let AI do it all for you, but you have strengths. Take your strengths, focus on those, and then put them in and let AI help you with the thing that you might need help with. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, that's how my business partner, Allie, is too. She's like, I just don't do like the structure and like the SOPs, and just doesn't even think to think of those types of things. And so it's fun how AI can bring the yin to your yang, right? Like that we can become more complete in the fact that we bring what we have, just like you said, and then it can bring what it has, and you can get that full picture and have a working system like you have now. So that is so fun. Thank you for going in there, because that's just, I love the details of all of that. So talk to me about like, what is your biggest challenge or struggle that you're having in your business right now in, going for the goal that you have the next 6 to 12 months?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think as a smaller company, the building the team is always the biggest challenge, right? the work that we do, sometimes it does require people to work outside of a job description. We wear a lot of different hats in a small company. And that isn't for everybody, right? Which is totally okay. But we're aware of that, and we try to make sure that we bring people on the team that are, really collaborative and helping each other. We had this conversation today amongst a couple of us on the team where, two people were working on a project. There was something about it that wasn't their strong suit. So we brought in somebody who it is, and maybe it's not the first line on their job description, but everybody's sort of willing to help each other. And that's so important to our culture. But, that does make it hard. And not to say that, I'm not a big fan of like startup hustle culture, but there is an element of working for a startup that it is really important to be flexible. And sometimes that's not a good fit for everyone. And I also think that, again, like those SOPs and those frameworks and delivering a consistent experience across the team, when you also want to celebrate the uniqueness of the team members, that can be challenging, right? Like there are people with different strengths, and we want to make sure we're delivering a consistent experience, but also capitalizing on those strengths. So that just means we have to be really thoughtful about, pairing up the right people with the right clients and staying in the loop, as leadership with maybe the more junior members of the team. But I think that's the biggest challenge, is finding the right people. The job market is really, really bad right now. There's so many really qualified, smart people looking for jobs. And that makes hiring hard too, to kind of find those people. So I'm very sort of conscious of what people are experiencing out there in the job market. And it's hard to find the right people.
Yeah. And especially because your team, I can tell, is very collaborative. Like, it's not like this is my role and I'm not going to do anything else. It seems like you guys all work for the benefit of your clients and the growth of your company, so you can serve more clients, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. We have a great team.
Sounds like it. Oh, that's so awesome. So, so as we're kind of finishing up here, if we could wave a magic wand and AI could do anything for you in your business, what would you want it to do?
Ooh. So I do see a lot of opportunity. That I just came back from Inbound, and there's a lot of new AI capabilities that are out there and that are in beta. And there's so much stuff that I go, I love the idea. It's not ready. And I think what I'm seeing out there in the marketplace with the sort of hyper personalization at scale, I think is, a dream if it will work. The concept of, sending an email to Elise about something that Elise cares about at scale is a great idea. I think the challenge I'm seeing with it is that, and this is why we don't let AI write content for us, is that you can tell it was written by AI. And I think the authenticity piece is lost. And maybe that's not possible. Maybe it's not possible to scale authenticity with AI. But that is an area I think, it could be really, really beneficial to be able to understand individuals and communicate to them in a way that, speaks directly to their individual needs. That sounds great. It's just not quite there yet. So, and maybe on a more personal note, if it could do a good job of managing my emails and my calendar, I would love that.
It gets kind of crazy, huh?
It does, yes.
I love it. Yeah, I think that you bring up a really good point of the fact that we can envision lots of different things that AI can do. And honestly, I think we're just growing at such an incredible rate that it'll be here before we know it. But just being aware of what's possible right now and what's not. That's exactly why we offer AI growth sessions in our businesses, because we take what it is that your challenges are, and we show you what is possible at this exact moment. Because we have been playing around with super personalized, marketing strategies and things like that. And there's been some hit and misses along the way, but we're getting better and better at it. So I love that your mind went there, especially since you're in the marketing world. Of course it did.
Totally, yeah. It's coming. I think it's getting better, like you say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Jen, this has been such a valuable conversation for me personally and for our incredible audience. So before we wrap up, where can people connect with you if they want to learn more about GrowGetter?
Yeah, you can visit our website, growgetter.io. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jennifer Mancusi, or on our GrowGetter page. We have a podcast that we stream live on LinkedIn every week. So follow GrowGetter if you want to catch those episodes. And yeah, hope to hear from everyone.
Beautiful. And if you are that content strategist, make sure you check out that website, because that you could be the exact person that this team is looking for. So good. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for being with us here today and just sharing your insights and your vulnerabilities and all of the things, and what you're doing with AI is really, really cool. So everyone, thanks so much for tuning in and listening to or watching Mastering AI Momentum Show. Our mission is to help you break through those bottlenecks and scale smarter with AI, just as Jen and her team are doing. So we want to accelerate your momentum, and we will see you next time on the show. If you want to learn more, just go to m2aiagency.com. Thanks.
You've been listening to Mastering AI Momentum. If today's episode gave you clarity or sparked a breakthrough, share it, review it, leave us a comment, and show Ali and Elise how you're turning AI into ROI. And make sure you subscribe, because the next episode could be the strategy that unlocks your next level. Until then, build smart, scale fast, and let AI multiply your momentum.